Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at what order you should take in-game content in Dbz Dokkan battle. Basically, where should you start, what order should you kind of proceed to take it on in, and where can you go from there. Now in terms of Dokkan in-game content, there's a large variety of in-game content, and some of it can be really difficult and some of it can be not so difficult, but there's a couple of things that you should make sure your team has before you enter into an event. So firstly, just a couple very basic tips. Make sure that you've Dokkan awakened all your characters. Make sure that you have an appropriate leader skill. Make sure that with that leader skill or with that team, you have invested as many orbs as possible into your team. Rainbow them if you can, possibly. Secondly, also consider equipment that you are placing on your team. And of course, consider the passives of your team as well. I have a Dokkan progression guide and team building guide, both of which are linked in the top right hand corner. Now, in terms of everything else that you need to consider, that's pretty much it. Link leveling is also something you can consider as well, but it's not really something that I think is mandatory. It will help you, but it's not going to make or break whether you complete the content. So Dokkan Awaken, make sure they all fall under the same leader skill, invest in potential orbs, and place gear on. Then you basically should be ready to take on the hard content. Now, just an honorable mention to Virtual Dokkan Ultimate Clash. Although it's not necessarily super hard content in inverted commas, it is basically still difficult content. It is going to require you to have at least 70 Dokkan Awakened characters, and it's going to require you to have some kind of knowledge around team building and how to use mechanics such as sealing or stunning. I highly suggest that you look at getting acquainted with Virtual Dokkan Ultimate Clash. I will kind of mention when or where it fits into the Dokkan in-game hierarchy, but yeah. So now let's talk about where you should begin. So you've just finished your team, maybe you're now looking for your first challenge. You can easily conquer Dokkan events. So where should you start? Well, you should start with Super Battle Road. So Super Battle Road is the original hard content in Dokkan, and it is a great place for players to start because it essentially allows you to begin building teams, begin working on units of different categories. So it gives you an incentive to not just have two strong teams, it gives you an incentive to start slowly building other units up and building your team. So Super Battle Road is a great event to take on. You can use 4 support items, you can use a full team, you can stun and seal units here, so it's a great way to learn mechanics, attack lowering, defense lowering. And I would say the first 10 are very good place to learn. They're a fantastic way to kind of get control of the game. They'll help you prep teams for Ultimate Clash, and that's kind of where Ultimate Clash falls in. But it's basically a really strong way for you to kind of start developing teams. So the first 10 stages are traditionally very easy, but they're going to at least prep you for Ultimate Clash and some of the mechanics there. And then I would say stages 11 to 30 are also very doable challenges. Also great, they encompass a lot of the strong teams in the game, and basically they allow you to essentially kind of prep your box a little bit. So Super Battle Road, fantastic place to start, kind of a very good beginner's section. After that, I would say Infinite Dragon Ball History is also a good metric to learn a little bit different mechanics. It's more closer to the Fighting Legend Goku / the kind of, red zoney type of build. Some of the events start off strong and end up slower. Some of the events start off low and end up taking you a little while. But basically, it's a great event for you to get used to longer form hard content, because hard content in Dokkan has varying forms. Some is short form content, some is longer form content where stacking units are a bit better. It's just very difficult to pin everything down under one umbrella, but Infinite Dragon Ball history, especially the first 4 stages, is a great place to learn. And then the other stages start to progressively get harder, but again, we'll train up your box and let you practice. Now, you should all know about Fighting Legend Vegeta and Fighting Legend Goku GT, but the original Fighting Legend Goku is the next level you want to go. So after you've done the first 30 kind of Super Battle Roads, after you've done the first 4 Infinite Dragon Ball histories, which are all interchangeable, you can take them on at any kind of time, the next step up is Fighting Legend Goku. It's an event that's going to let you build stacking units, try and take on the category challenges for this event as well. Again, the reason I say take on category challenges is it's a great excuse to get more resources, stones, kais, etc., but it also really helps you in expanding your box. Once you've done that, you can then consider returning to Super Battle Road. Now, stages 31 to about 49, 50 are a step up again. They are a little bit more difficult, but they are a good challenge, and they're a nice way to really level up your team. From 50 to 60 onwards, Super Battle Road kind of matches with the ESBR in strength, even from some of the 40 stages. So your next step is kind of the next 30 stages of Super Battle Road, but it's also to consider taking on the stages of Extreme Super Battle Road. Now, at this point, Extreme Super Battle Road and Super Battle Road stages 30 to 60, and all of the Extreme Super Battle Road stages are kind of interchangeable. So they're all relatively the same difficulty. Some stages will be scaled harder than others. A Pure Saiyan stage is much harder, for example, than a Pepe Gal stage. That's due to them attuning the stage difficulty to the category. So don't be alarmed if you find some categories or some stages, even ones that may have come after other stages, harder than others. It's just going to depend on your box. Once you are kind of thick into the Extreme Super Battle Road and the second half of Super Battle Road, that's then when you're probably going to look at the next kind of tier of content. So the next tier of content is your Gods of Destruction events and your Fighting Legend Goku GT edition and Fighting Legend Vegeta. So the Gods of Destruction event is kind of different. It's more short form than long form, but it is a very, very different kind of concept. It's a lot closer to the red zone concept. Enemies hit very strong out the gate. You very few times cannot stun and seal them, and it's more of a slog against this one kind of very difficult enemy. So the Gods of Destruction event is a great way to kind of prep yourself into that mindset. It's definitely a step up. The bosses here probably hit around the same as the hardest ESBR/SBR stages on average. So that kind of they're kind of a step up, but in reality they're honestly around the same, but it's the mechanics that make them quite different. They're very strong right out the gate. There's no way to really control them beyond gauging type advantages or understanding guard mechanics, or evasion is also very strong. So it preps you for red zone to a certain extent. Along that line is the next step up in long form content, but also something that will help prep you for red zones is Fighting Legend Goku, Fighting Legend Vegeta. Again, don't just focus on completing the event, try and focus on completing the challenges that come with the event. It's obviously something that's very, very good to obviously complete. It's something that's great for a lot of players to be able to take on those events. I think it is always really, really good. So for me, I think that's then naturally the next progression. And finally, obviously, you get your Red Zone GT, Red Zone movie bosses, and your Red Zone Wicked Bloodlines. All are relatively interchangeable. You will struggle with a boss another player does not struggle with. That player will struggle with a boss that you do not struggle with. They all are of relative difficulty. Obviously, the first couple stages of the Red Zone, especially in the case of the GT and the movie bosses, are not too hard. I would say stages 1, 2, and 3 of those are not too hard. However, the Wicked Bloodlines Red Zone does start a little bit tougher right out the gate. Frieza is stronger than the Shadow Dragons equivalent of the event, and Cooler is actually quite tough. I will say that. So it's definitely Red Zone as kind of your top tier content, and alongside that, I wouldn't say it's necessarily harder, although it's just again going to depend on your box, but Cell Max. So Cell Max is a difficult event, but it's a very gimmicked, in inverted commas, event. Evasion is the priority here. If you can build an incredibly strong evasive team, you will have a relatively strong time against Cell Max. If you cannot build that team, you're going to have a relatively bad time. Guarding does help, int type units do help, but generally speaking, evasion and not getting hit by the super is realistically your best shot at kind of taking yourself out of the equation. So naturally, I put it alongside Red Zone. Some people will definitely state it's harder. He is mathematically the hardest hitting boss in the game. But with that being said, obviously, without going too much into the issues, I think you can take out the event relatively well with an evasive based team. So just to recap, Super Battle Road, first 30 stages, then we go to Infinite Dragon Ball History, the first 4 or 5 stages, then you jump into Fighting Legend Goku. From this point, things get a little bit kind of different. You can jump back to Super Battle Road or the Extreme Super Battle Road. You can then continue with the rest of the Infinite Dragon Ball History stages as well. From that point onwards, you're looking at events like the Gods of Destruction event, alongside taking out the Fighting Legend Vegeta and the Fighting Legend Goku GT edition. So you've got your varying different capacities there. Once you've kind of completed those or finished those, generally speaking, you're ready to attempt Red Zone. You don't have to finish all the category challenges or things like that, but ideally I always suggest doing so. It will widen your box and give you more options and give you a little bit more juice when you take on Red Zone and Cell Max. But that's going to be it from me, guys. I hope this helps you out. I just thought I'd update it, and I wish you all the best of luck, and let me know your thoughts. Bye.